What if I told you that a common kitchen spice, one you've likely overlooked for years, holds the potential to significantly improve your circulation and help restore your body's natural vitality in as little as a minute? It sounds remarkable, I know, but the science behind it is grounded in biology. Regardless of your age or past struggles, taking a moment to understand this could be the first step toward reclaiming the strength you feel you've lost. My name is Dr. Sophia Reynolds. For over 35 years as a urologist and men's health specialist, I have dedicated my career to helping men, particularly those over 60, navigate the physical changes that come with time. My focus has always been on restoring confidence, improving circulatory health, and revitalizing the feeling of being in control of your own body. We're not talking about complicated prescriptions or fleeting gimmicks, but about using natural, accessible tools to help your body remember its own inherent strength. And here is something that might surprise you. The answer isn't some newly discovered molecule or a piece of expensive technology. It's a simple spice that has been part of our history for centuries, used long before modern medicine confirmed its powerful effects on the body. The irony is that this very spice is probably sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, its potential completely untapped. In the next few minutes, I will explain how chewing this one spice for just 60 seconds can help relax your blood vessels, reduce the stress that suppresses testosterone, combat the oral inflammation that can impede circulation, and promote the deep sleep your body needs for hormonal recovery. I will walk you through the entire process, and by the end of our time together, you will understand exactly how to use it and what you can realistically expect in your first week, second week, and by the end of the first month. Before we begin, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications. This way, you won't miss out on the straightforward, honest health advice I share for men who are serious about their well-being. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, please type a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, a 0 is fine. Your feedback helps me serve you better. Now, let's get to the core of this method, because understanding the why is essential for it to work. The incredible power of this tiny spice comes from a natural compound within it called eugenol. This single component is what initiates the process of improving blood flow, relaxing your blood vessels, and helping your body respond with the vigor it once had. 1. Eugenol, the natural compound that makes it work. I've had so many conversations in my office that start with the same quiet admission, "Doctor, I just want to feel like my old self." Men aren't usually talking about running a race or having a perfect physique. They're talking about that fundamental sense of confidence and intimacy, the quiet strength that comes from a body that still functions as it should. This is what led me down the path of exploring effective natural aids, and my research consistently pointed back to the power of eugenol. Eugenol is found in very high concentrations in whole cloves, and when you chew 1 or 2 of them, the essential oils released are rich in this potent substance. That eugenol doesn't just stay in your mouth. It is absorbed almost instantly into the bloodstream through the mucous membranes. What happens next is where the real benefit begins. Eugenol is a natural vasodilator. In simple terms, it helps your blood vessels, especially the smaller, more constricted ones that are critical for sexual function, to relax and widen. After 60, these vessels often become more rigid, which is a primary reason blood flow can become compromised. Eugenol acts like a gentle internal massage for your arteries, reopening those pathways so blood can move freely again. It isn't a forced or artificial process. It's a natural reawakening of your body's own systems. What makes this even more effective is that eugenol encourages your body's own production of nitric oxide, which is the very molecule that prescription medications aim to influence. But this is your body doing the work itself, naturally, without the risk of side effects like headaches or the sudden drop-off some medications can cause. Many men report feeling a gentle, pleasant warmth spreading through their body, a subtle but clear sign that their circulation is responding. If this one compound can do all that, imagine what happens when we also address the stress that has been undermining your testosterone for years. Let's discuss that now. 2. Why erections can weaken after 60 and how clove helps. Countless men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s have sat in my office and, with a sense of defeat, told me that things just aren't working the way they once did. The first thing I always tell them is that this is not a personal failure or something to be ashamed of. It is a matter of biology. As we get older, the delicate blood vessels that enable erections can become narrower and less flexible. The cumulative effect of years of stress, certain foods, low-grade inflammation, and a more sedentary lifestyle begins to show. The direct result is that blood cannot flow into the penile tissues with the force it used to, and without that robust blood flow, a firm erection is difficult to achieve and maintain. But here's the crucial part that many men are never told. These changes are not necessarily permanent. In many cases, they can be reversed. This is where cloves can be such a powerful tool for men as they age. The compound we just discussed, eugenol, does more than just relax your blood vessels. It also helps improve the health and flexibility of their inner lining, the endothelium. You can think of it as carefully cleaning out an old stiff pipe to make it smooth again, allowing everything to flow without obstruction. The blood begins to move more easily and can reach its destination more effectively. Some of my own patients have shared that after just a couple of weeks of using this method consistently, they began experiencing morning erections again for the first time in years. This wasn't due to some miracle pill, but because their body's own circulatory system was finally given the support it needed to function properly. That's the elegance of this natural approach. It doesn't override your body's systems, but instead supports them in returning to their intended function. However, even with optimal blood flow, there is an invisible factor that can stop everything in its tracks. It's something that has likely been working against you for decades without you even realizing it. 3. The 60-second clove method, a step-by-step guide. You know, in my experience, the most profound solutions are often the simplest. And this particular method has helped so many of my patients regain a sense of normalcy and control over their bodies. It doesn't require prescriptions, repeated doctor's appointments, or trips to the pharmacy. It's just a small, deliberate action you can take in the privacy of your own home. Best of all, it only takes 1 minute. Here is the exact method I share with my patients. First, take 2 or 3 whole dried cloves, not the ground powder you might use for baking. Organic is always a good choice if available, but any high-quality whole clove will be effective. Place them between your back molars, where you have the most chewing power. Gently bite down just enough to feel them crack open. This next part is important. Don't rush the process. Allow the natural oils to release and coat your mouth and tongue. For the first 30 seconds, simply hold the broken clove pieces in your mouth and let them mix with your saliva. You will likely notice a strong, warming sensation. It can be intense, but this is a positive sign. It indicates that the eugenol is being rapidly absorbed through the membranes in your mouth, entering your bloodstream directly. After 30 seconds, begin to chew slowly and gently, just enough to break the cloves down further. Continue this for another 30 seconds, allowing the oils to fully permeate your saliva. And that's it. You can then choose to either swallow the small remnants or spit them out. Either way is perfectly fine. If you're going to try this, I want you to make a commitment to yourself by typing, "I will do this," in the comments below. What makes this method so potent is the speed at which it begins to work. Some men report feeling a noticeable difference within minutes, a sense of mental clarity, and a feeling of being more grounded and present in their bodies. But the benefits of chewing cloves extend beyond just improving blood flow. It also helps unlock something that most men over 60 need more of, even if they aren't aware of the deficiency. Let's explore that next. 4. When to use this technique for the best results. A question I'm often asked, especially after a man tries this method for the first time and feels that distinct circulatory warmth, is, "Doctor, when is the best time to do this?" And that's an excellent question, because with any natural protocol, timing can significantly enhance the effects. It's not just what you do, but when you do it. Think of it like tuning a fine instrument. You want your hormones, nervous system, and circulation all working in concert. For many of my patients, the evening has proven to be the most beneficial time. Chewing the cloves about an hour before you plan to go to sleep, as your day is winding down, helps to calm the nervous system and prepare your body for deep, restorative rest. This is critically important because deep sleep is when your body does its most vital repair work, including producing the majority of its testosterone. Using this method at night essentially sets the stage for the following day, promoting better energy levels, mental clarity, and, yes, a higher likelihood of strong morning erections. However, the morning shouldn't be overlooked. Using the method first thing in the morning on an empty stomach can help kickstart your circulation and establish a calm yet focused tone for the day ahead. Some men find it particularly effective before a workout or even a brisk walk. Others prefer to use it about 30 to 45 minutes before intimacy to enhance presence, connection, and physical stamina. The most important thing is to be consistent and listen to what your body is telling you. Daily use is what builds momentum and creates lasting change. This isn't a one-off trick. It's a daily practice that invests in your long-term vitality. If you plan on trying this, make a promise to yourself by commenting, "I will do this," below. 5. Let's talk about stress and its impact. I have had conversations with so many good men who are doing everything right on paper. They eat a balanced diet, they stay physically active, and they follow conventional health advice, yet they still feel that something is fundamentally off. Their energy levels are low, their libido is inconsistent, and during moments of intimacy, their body just doesn't cooperate like it used to. That's usually when I ask them a very direct question. "Tell me about your stress levels." The room often falls silent for a moment before the truth comes out. The constant worry about finances, health, relationships, and the pressures of aging. It's an immense burden to carry. Here's something most men don't realize, that relentless, silent pressure is actively dismantling their masculinity from a hormonal standpoint. You see, chronic stress keeps your body in a state of high alert, flooding your system with a hormone called cortisol. While cortisol is useful in short bursts, the modern world has most men over 60 living in a state of sustained tension, meaning their cortisol levels are almost always elevated. And here is the unfortunate biological fact. High levels of cortisol and healthy levels of testosterone cannot coexist. They have an inverse relationship. As one rises, the other is suppressed. This means that the more chronic stress you're under, the less testosterone your body is able to produce, leading directly to a diminished sexual response. This is where cloves offer a benefit that goes far beyond circulation. They contain a compound called beta-caryophyllin, which has been shown to help regulate the body's stress response. It interacts with receptors in the brain that promote a sense of calm and well-being. Within minutes of chewing a clove, you might feel a tangible release of tension in your shoulders and chest, a newfound mental clarity, and a letting go of that pressure you've been holding onto. As your cortisol levels begin to decrease, your testosterone has the opportunity to naturally rise again. You may simply start to feel more like yourself again, sometimes so gradually you don't notice the shift until it's well underway. 6. Better sleep equals more testosterone. If there is one universal truth I've observed in my decades of practice, it's this. The moment a man's sleep quality declines, his overall health and vitality begin to suffer. You can have a perfect diet and exercise routine, but if your sleep is consistently fragmented, your hormones simply cannot recover properly. This is because the vast majority of your testosterone production and cellular repair occurs at night, specifically during the cycles of deep, uninterrupted REM sleep. But let's be honest, how many men over 60 are actually getting that kind of restorative rest on a regular basis? So many of my patients describe lying awake at 2 a.m., their minds racing or waking up multiple times throughout the night and never feeling truly refreshed in the morning. They then find themselves wondering why their energy is gone, why their drive has faded, and why they can't seem to get going like they used to. More often than not, the root cause is poor quality sleep that has gone unaddressed for years. This is another area where cloves can be a tremendous ally, not just for circulation but for your entire nervous system. The compounds in cloves, particularly eugenol and beta-caryophyllene, don't just relax blood vessels. They also have a calming effect on the central nervous system, which helps regulate your natural sleep-wake cycle. When you chew cloves in the evening, about an hour before bed, it can help ease your body into a deeper and more stable state of sleep. Many men have told me that they've started dreaming more vividly again, or that they're waking up feeling genuinely rested and clear-headed for the first time in a long while. And quite often, this is accompanied by the return of strong morning erections. That is not a coincidence. That is your testosterone finally getting the opportunity to do its job. So, if you've been feeling run down, I urge you to prioritize your sleep. If you're ready to make that change, comment, "I will do this," below. 7. The surprising link between gum health and erections. This might sound unexpected, but it's a connection I've seen confirmed in my clinical practice time and again. A man will come to my office concerned about his declining energy and erectile function, but all his standard tests and blood work appear to be in a normal range. Then I'll ask him a simple question: how is your dental health? That's often when we uncover the real issue: persistent bleeding gums, bad breath, or other signs of periodontal distress. Most men would never think that the state of their mouth could have such a direct impact on their performance in the bedroom, but the scientific evidence is undeniable. Your mouth is a primary gateway to the rest of your body, including your circulatory system. When you have underlying gum disease, the harmful bacteria in your mouth don't stay there. They enter your bloodstream. From there, they can travel throughout your entire body, creating a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation that is particularly damaging to the delicate lining of your blood vessels, the very same vessels required for a healthy erection. It creates a situation where, even if the nerve signals are working, the blood simply can't get through efficiently. In fact, clinical studies have demonstrated that men with significant gum disease have a much higher probability of experiencing erectile dysfunction. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct biological link. This is where chewing cloves becomes a powerful tool for daily maintenance. Clove oil is one of nature's most effective natural antiseptics. When you chew whole cloves, these potent antibacterial compounds get to work immediately. helping to neutralize harmful bacteria in your mouth before they have a chance to enter your bloodstream and cause systemic issues. It is one of the simplest yet most profoundly effective steps you can take to support your full body health, starting with your mouth. And when your mouth is healthier, your blood can flow more cleanly to every part of your body. If you commit to better oral health for your overall vitality, let me know by commenting, "I will do this." 8. What to realistically expect in 7, 14, and 30 days. One of the most rewarding parts of my work is seeing the hope return to a man's eyes as he starts to feel like himself again. I recall one patient, a gentleman in his late 60s, who came to me feeling defeated and skeptical that anything could change. We began the Clove method, and I simply asked him to be consistent with it for 1 month. After the very first week, he called my office just to say, "Doctor, something is definitely happening. I feel more alert when I wake up." And that was only the start. In the first 7 days, the changes are often subtle. Most men report a gentle warming sensation, improved mental clarity, and a noticeable improvement in sleep quality. It may not feel dramatic, but these are the first signals that your body is responding positively. By day 14, the momentum often builds. You may notice a more significant increase in your baseline energy levels, and mornings may start to feel distinctly different. This is often when men report the return of spontaneous morning erections, a welcome sign that circulation is being restored and testosterone levels are beginning to normalize. By the end of the first 30 days of consistent use, many men tell me they feel like a completely renewed version of themselves. It's not just that their erectile function has become more reliable and stronger, but their entire demeanor changes, their confidence improves, and they carry themselves with a different energy. Their partners often notice the change as well, remarking on a renewed sense of emotional presence and connection, even before physical intimacy is fully restored. And that is the ultimate goal, to feel comfortable and capable in your own body again, to feel alive and engaged, not like you're sitting on the sidelines. Conclusion: reclaiming the strength that is already yours. For over 3 decades, I have had the privilege of sitting with men just like you, good men who often silently bear the burden of declining energy, shaken confidence, and the private fear that their best years are over. But I am here to tell you with complete sincerity that they are not. This simple daily habit of chewing a couple of cloves for 60 seconds is about so much more than just blood flow. It is a tool to help calm your nervous system, restore your sleep, support your natural testosterone production, and even improve your oral health to protect your entire circulatory system. I have seen this simple practice help reawaken circulation, restore desire, and, most importantly, help men feel like themselves again. The fact that you have watched this far tells me that you are ready for a change, and now you have a practical, accessible tool to begin that process. The choice, as always, is yours. You can continue to hope that things will magically get better, or you can start taking small, consistent actions to build that change yourself. You don't have to be perfect in this process. You simply have to begin. I encourage you to start tonight and allow your body to rediscover its own strength, one day at a time.